What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today I want to talk about a Jets youngster that was listed as a breakout player candidate in 2025. Let's hop into it. First, a happy Father's Day to all the Jet fan dads out there, and especially my dad. He got me into Jets football and Mets baseball as well. As you see, I put the picture of me and my dad at my first Mets game. I'm a little old. 99 was my first Met game. I was 4 years old, but I've been hooked on sports my entire life because of him. I remember the first real Jets game that we both sat down together and watched, and the rest is history with that. So happy Father's Day to all the Jets fans, and especially my dad. So PFF listed its all breakout team, and one of the running backs listed on this team was Braylon Allen, the second-year running back out of Wisconsin. Here's the quote. Allen quietly put together a strong first campaign of his own. The former Wisconsin star generated an 82.0 PFF rushing grade and a 73.6 overall PFF grade. Allen remains the backup to Brees Hall in New York, but Hall's production declined in a big way last year with only a 68.7 PFF rushing grade. If Allen can improve his pass catching abilities and blocking prowess, he could emerge as more of an every down back for the Jets. After all, new OC Tanner Engstrand comes from a Detroit Lions team that gave Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery each over 190 carries in 2024. I think that number is slightly off. I think it's 185 carries for Montgomery. We'll get to that in a moment, though. Last year, Braylon Allen had 92 carries for 334 yards and 2 touchdowns. He averaged just 3.6 yards per attempt. In year 2, in order for him to have that bit of a breakout, I think he needs to get the yards per attempt up. That was low across the board. The Jets were not a very good rushing team. That's something that I'm confident can improve, especially with the improved offensive line in front of this unit. Olu Fashanu and Armand Membu, and you got the returning guys on the interior offensive line. I think we do see an improvement in rushing efficiency from both Braylon Allen and Brees Hall, but we'll stick with Braylon Allen on this one. Things that you like to see from him. He's a very physical runner. He uses his size to his advantage, which is great. And he's still so young. I think we forget how young Braylon Allen is. He will play this year, the entire regular season, as age 21. He doesn't turn 22 until January of 2026. He's one of the youngest players still in the NFL. So it's not outside of the realm of possibilities that he improves. It's not like they drafted, him out of school and he was already 24 years old and this is kind of just what he is. No, he was 20 last year. He should probably take a step forward this year. My thought is, could they use him similar to how the Lions used David Montgomery? Montgomery had 775 rushing yards on 185 attempts. That's 4.2 yards per attempt and 12 rushing touchdowns. I don't know if Montgomery's going to get, I don't know if Allen's going to get the Montgomery 12 rushing touchdowns, but considering Fields will run more than Jared Goff, obviously, if we're using those numbers as a benchmark, I think you have to bump the numbers down for Braylon Allen, comparing him to Montgomery on the rushing attempts. But can we get 140 carries for a little over 600 yards? So 616 on 140 carries would be 4.4 yards per attempt. I would sign up for that. And 5 touchdowns. I don't think that's an outlandish prediction. I'd be pretty impressed with that kind of number of production for a young running back who's essentially their RB2. I think Brees Hall gets a majority of the reps, but I think you'd have to feel pretty good about his progression there. I'd sign up for that. Again, if that's a running back too that's being used 130, 140 times this year running the ball, and he's giving you 550 to 650 yards and a handful of touchdowns, that's a major improvement. The Jets had the fewest rushing attempts in the NFL a year ago. I don't expect that to be the case. I think they are likely top 5 in rushing attempts. I would actually say they're likely to be top 5 in both rushing attempts and yards. That's my, hot take on the year. I think they're a top 5 rushing team. Now, passing, I don't expect them to be anywhere close to that, which is fine, right? We can't go completely lofty expectations, but for Braylon Allen, I see the vision on why PFF lists him as a breakout candidate, because you look at Tanner Engstrand and what the Detroit offense was. They use their 2 backs, and Aaron Glenn and Tanner Engstrand have done a good job of talking up all their backs. So I think they're going to utilize him. I don't think it's going to be Brees Hall, just run him into the ground, run the ball 300 times. That's not going to be the case this year. So I like this call out. Let me know your thoughts on Braylon Allen going into year 2. I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you next time.